Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here to talk about this post. A lot of questions were asked and I clearly didn't tell you who it was. I'm not going to tell you the exact name of the person because I feel like then no one needs to be embarrassed like that on social media. Long story short, I worked for a company. I had a little thing with this guy for, I think it was like a week. And then I ended up quitting that company and he, I guess, couldn't just let go. So I had a gift that was dropped off. It was similar to the second gift, which is why I put two and two together. It was a vase with sunflowers in it, which he clearly knew were my favorite flower. And then it had that fabric wrapped all around it with a permanent marker and the doodles all over it. So instantly when I saw this and realized that it was similar to what I got on my birthday, that's when I was like, hey, I need to definitely call the cops, because the first time I thought that it was just a secret admirer and played it off like it was nothing. But on my birthday, when that was dropped off, he wrote me a song. I'll give you a little taste of it, but not the whole thing because it literally chills my goddamn bones. But here it is.
I said your name by mistake, played it off like I'm just confused. But I was from lying to myself when I know the truth.
It's a little creepy in my eyes, in my position. So next to that, I said thank you for the song. It was unnecessary because I feel like it had been, I think, over a year since I had last talked to this person. I ended up asking him, I was like, you weren't the one that sent the sunflowers, were you? And he replied with this. And then I just put a question mark because I'm not Japanese. I don't know what that says. And he then replied with this. If you don't know, like, Hitchcock films and stuff like that, like, they're horror movies. Psycho especially. It's really gory and fucked up. I never responded to that after he sent that. When this was dropped off, I kind of recognized, I guess, his hair and stuff like that in the video. And most definitely just how the person was walking, because he does a weird, stupid fucking walk like that. But when I called the cops, I gave the cops this information. I showed him the text messages, and he kind of said, like, he's like, they look exactly the same. And then when I showed him pictures of this guy, I didn't really notice, but the tattoos that are on his hands that he had done himself were literally the same symbols that were drawn on the fabric. So when I told the cop this, he was like, that's definitely probably a relation, in that this is probably our main suspect as to who's doing these random gift drop-offs. He said that it's kind of weird that he's covering his face, seeing that you would recognize him in a sense, but the cop did a little bit more digging. He just took pictures of messages and stuff like that, and then he said that he would be back. So I guess within the 3 hours that he did his little investigation, if you want to call it that, he told me that he went down to a neighbor's house. And if you remember when I said in that first video, he told me to look back, and I found that Beamer that was driving by. This guy owned one. Exact same color. But one of the neighbors, I guess, had outside video of this Beamer pulling over and him getting out of it and walking down the street. So, as harmless as this is, I wouldn't particularly say that he's a stalker. I think he's just still kind of in love and can't let go. At the end of the day, the officer did his job. I didn't feel unsafe at all whatsoever. I was like, knowing the person that he is, I was like, he's not harmful. I guess he just had a little bit of an obsession. The cop was really quick to figure out the whole situation. He came and told me he's like, I just have something to show you real quick, which you guys saw in the video. And then he showed me a picture of the guy. And I was like, how the fuck did you find him? I was like, I only gave him his first name. And that's when he told me that the neighbor had the video footage and then they got the plate off that video footage. He just told me that he contacted the police department in his area and they would stop by his house and pretty much tell him that he is no longer to have contact with me. He's not allowed on the property. And if he does, then they will charge him with harassment. Sorry for the wait. I had a bunch of shit going on in life and hopefully that helps y'all out.